Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Vishnu Dutt, and in today's class, we are going to start network automation from scratch. In today's class, we are going to start network automation from scratch, and this is the session number one, right? If you can give me just 1.5 hours of yours, you will be pretty confident enough to understand why behind network automation, basic idea behind this course, and what should be the expectation out of this course, right? So I'm just asking only for 1.5 hours uh, in Sunday's morning, right? So here is the agenda. An agenda, what we are going to discuss. If you do not have any network automation knowledge, is this course for you or not, right? Why behind network automation? And it is my firm belief that if you understand why behind any technology, right, then maybe you can understand it better. And we are going to explain you why behind network automation, right? Then we are going to talk about basic idea behind this course. We are going to talk about what is network automation, because this is slightly the area where I find people get a lot of confusion, right? So what is the boundary of network automation, or there is no boundary? We are going to talk about it. As you know that if we are facing a big problem, then it is always easy to break it, right? And this is what TCP/IP developer did. They have broken this TCP/IP problem into multiple pieces, which is known as layers, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, 4, and 5. You all know about it. And that is what we are going to do with network automation course 2. We will be dividing this network automation into multiple smaller problems, and we are going to concentrate on one problem at a time. At the end of this course, we will combine everything together to understand what is network automation and how to do network automation. Having said that, we are going to start today about operating system, and you must be wondering that from where this Linux has come. Do not worry about it. We will go step by step. So this is the agenda. What we are going to discuss is next 1 or 1.5 hours, depending on your questions. So first thing first, let's move to our first board. So this is the board where we are going to talk about what if you do not have any information, any knowledge of network automation. What do you need as a prerequisite to understand this course, right? And believe me, you do not need anything, right? Of course, we are automating the network. So I think that little bit understanding of network, how to make your campus network, how to design the WAN network. If you have that, that is going to be great, right? But little bit of understanding of network is definitely required, because you, at the end of the day, you are automating this. Okay. If I say that you should have little bit of understanding about the network, and that is it. And one more prerequisite, which is very, very important, is to be curious. If you are curious, it is my responsibility that you will be getting this network automation or how to automate a particular network within no time. Just be curious. Just ask why behind each and every concept, and you should be good to go. Okay. Having said that, we are going to talk about few more things, right? As you can see in number one statement, anybody can know, but the point is to understand, right? What is the meaning? What is the difference between knowing and understanding? And the difference is very, very minute. Suppose you have a lot of data, right? It means that you know things because you have data. But what is the meaning? Do you understand the meaning of data, right? Do you understand what data is representing? Can you do something creative out of that data? That is what is understanding. So believe me, this course is all about understanding, because there are so many things already available, which is quite enough to tell or to know. Basically, you can know most of the thing from it. The basic idea of this course is to make you understand the concept of network automation. Having said that, Just be curious, and it's my responsibility to make you aware of what network automation is, right? So I'm not sure whether you have attended my past courses or not, but believe me, we always have two characters. And if you are from India, if you have seen Indian movies, then you must heard about these two names, Rahul and Anjali, right? These are very famous characters from one of the Indian film, and we are going to learn network automation in the same way. So Rahul and Anjali were part of are so many courses like transmission control protocol, right? Like BGP, MPLS, OSPF, everywhere these two characters were there, right? They also know SD-WAN, and now they have got placed into one of the organization. The name is Sports India Corporation, right? And by the way, we are talking about why network automation, right? So we have two characters here, fictitious character Rahul and Anjali. We have fictitious company also, Sports India Corporation, and these two characters got placed here, and they are into the operations. They have pretty solid understanding of the network, right? They are maintaining the operation of Sports India Corporation, and Sports India Corporation is a big corporation of the or enterprise. It is having its own data center. You can see here, and it is having its own campus and the multiple branches. I cannot show more than 100 branches, so I have just shown 3 branches here. If you do not understand network design, that is perfectly fine, right? But I should say that network automation, if you are doing the automation of a particular network, you should understand the network first, right? And for that, I would advise you to go to my YouTube channel. The channel name is Bridgewire, right? And there are so many free videos available there. Maybe you can start with your network learning, maybe networking from scratch. There is a complete course available of 45, I think 50 hours. You can build your knowledge there, and then you can come back again to the network automation course. So the point here is that Rahul Anjali got placed in Sports India Corporation. They have a solid understanding of the network. They know SD-WAN. They know so many things. Also, they have solid fundamentals of networking. And now they are maintaining the complete operation of Sports India Corporation. And here is the problem. The problem is when they joined this network, maybe 3, 4 months back, they were pretty happy, right? They were logging into each and every devices to understand what exactly the role of each and every device, right? In data center, we have so many routers, so many switches. In campus, we have so many routers and switches. Rahul and Anjali logged into all these devices to understand what exactly this network is doing, right? But then they face the reality of network operation. They have to face so many tickets, they have to face so many problems, which which are definitely inevitable in such network. Why? Maybe Rahul and Anjali are getting so many information about that, say, particular user is not able to access a resource in the data center. If I say resource, the meaning is simple, that they are not able to access the server into particular data center or maybe other things, right? Rahul and Anjali needs to log in into so many devices to see what is going on, right? Then they also face problem that if they want to introduce any new technology, then of course they need to migrate from the old technology to the new one. You all know that. I think many of you are part of network operations here, right? You must be going through many migration. You must be going through many maintenance windows also, right? And these network engineers, believe me, they hardly get time for other things. So Rahul and Anjali joined this corporation. Starting 2 weeks were fun because they were learning a lot, but now they are facing the heat. They are facing the heat of the problems, right, which comes on this network. I'm not saying that through network automation you can remove each and every problem, right? Because we haven't introduced network automation till yet. We are just saying Rahul and Anjali are here. They are placed in Sports India company, but they are facing some of the issues because their shift, or you can say in their 8 hours job, First thing first, this is not an 8-hour job. It is easily a 12 hours job. And in this 12-hour job, most of the time, Rahul and Anjali were spending in debugging and troubleshooting this network because there are so many problems. There are so many tickets from the multiple users. I'm not saying Rahul and Anjali are alone. Maybe Rahul and Anjali are team lead, and there is a huge team which is working under them, depending on the size of Sports India. But yes, believe me, if you are in network operations, you must have feel this heat of working above and beyond your regular hours, right? So let's talk about some of the things which you see as a network operation engineer, right? And this is the example, whatever I'm going to provide you. I think it happened with almost everybody. It happened with me. It happened with the many people whom I know, right? And it also happened with Rahul. So Rahul is straight away saying Anjali, a recent incident which happened, and because of that was a complete disaster for the network, right? So what was happening? If I tell you that we have a data center here and we have this server here, this server is the main server of this Sports India Corporation, right? Or you can say on this server, basically the Sports India Corporation website is running, which is sportsindia.com, right? And what Sports India is doing, it is selling multiple sports goods to many people, right? And that is where basically people on the internet comes. There are so many people on the internet, which comes from the internet into this data center and accessing this Sports India to order some of the products. And this is the main business of this company, right? If something happens to this server, there is a huge problem, right? Problems in terms of money, problems in terms of getting the revenue of this company, right? If this server is down, this company is not making any profit. So you can understand the importance of this server, right? Or the importance of reachability of this server, right? So what Mr. Rahul was doing, he was sitting on his in his home, working on his maybe laptop, and he was actually logged in into this router. This router is actually facing the internet, right? And now there are two interfaces. Maybe this is 0/0/1 and this is 0/1, right? So Mr. Rahul was working something related to this interface, but accidentally he logged in here, right? Okay, so basically he logged in into this device. He moved into the interface configuration mode, interface 0/0/1. He was thinking that he is in 0/1, but actually he was in 0/0/1, right? And he was checking something there, and maybe through show commands. And I understand that that we need to give the show command from the enable mode, right? Or the privileged mode, but you understand that this guy is just forget about it, and maybe he was typing show here, and then he realized quickly that no, I should not type show command in the interface configuration mode, right? But before coming out from this interface, he just pressed the enter button, because we most of the time has a habit of pressing the internet interface button, and you can understand what happened, right? This interface goes down, and anybody could have done this mistake. This mistake happened to me, right? I have done so many such mistakes in my career, right? And if that is the case, if this interface goes down, then it's a huge problem for my business, right? And at that point of time, Mr. Raul has to travel from his home to our company, right? Why? Because he was doing the telnet over the internet too, or maybe the SSH over the internet too, towards into this device. And if he's not able to access this device, and definitely he won't be. Why? Because this interface is down now. It is as simple as saying that if you are sitting on a wall or a tree branch, right, and somebody just cut this branch, if that is the case, it is inevitable that you are going to fall down. It is very, very simple. And that is what happened, right? Mr. Rahul was accessing this device from this interface, right? And he was not able to, and accidentally he shut down this interface, and he will not be able to access this device anymore. And that is why he needs to travel from his house to to his home to fix this problem. And in those 25 to 30, or maybe you can understand that we are in India, right? And there is a huge traffic too. Maybe sometimes the distance of 25 kilometers can take us one and a half 1.5 hour also. And those 1.5 hour was crucial for Sports India, right? Because in 1.5 hour, there is a loss of business. We all have done such mistake in our life, right? Maybe if I want to give you my personal experience, that is really, really bad. So maybe if you join this live classes, I will be sharing you there. But yes, it is all about human and human mistakes, right? We are human, and it is very, very simple to understand that human can make mistakes. And believe me, if I talk about the statistics, 60 to 75% people, right, or the 60 to 65% outages or the network outages which happens, those are just sheer because of human mistakes. Can we do something about it? Can we do something so that we can minimize this 60 to 75% of outages in network due to human mistake, right? You must be thinking that yes, I am progressing towards one step closer to automation, right? What is the meaning of automation? I haven't still explained you, but you all should understand that human can make mistake. But if we talk about machines, machines actually do whatever we inform them to do, whatever the data we feed them, right? Okay. So most of the time, if the same repeatable task is done by a machine, there are pretty less chance that machine can do mistake. But we human do mistake, which is the result, right? You can see that 60 to 75% of the network outages are because only with human mistakes, right? Having said that, let's talk about this is I could think this is the number one point of thinking about the network automation, but there are some more points too. And here is the second point. And I think most of us can relate to this picture also. Why? Because most of the time, network engineer is in firefighting mode. What is the meaning of firefighting mode? If you are in network operations team, you must have seen that most of the times some part of the network is not behaving as expected. And that is where you are getting most of the tickets too. It is as simple as that, right? And most of the time you spend in your organization as a network operation engineer is in troubleshooting, right? Troubleshooting some part of the network, troubleshooting on some ticket, right? Troubleshooting on maybe something else. I request everybody please to be go on mute. Thank you so much. So if you see this guy actually is a network engineer who is always into the firefighting mode, and this is your network. There might be some places, or maybe most of the places, this fire is there, and you are just just want to put off this fire, right? You are troubleshooting. You want that your network should be up and running, and that's why most of the time a network engineer is in firefighting mode, right? Do you think that if it means if out of 8 to 12 hours, if you are troubleshooting continuously on the network, how you are going to innovate that network, right? Suppose your boss came and he is saying that Mr. Rahul, I see always you busy in the troubleshooting, right? And Rahul is replying back, this is what happening in the network. I need to work, right? And his boss say, you are one of my most important staff, right? I want you to see that how this network can innovate. What is the meaning of innovation, right? The meaning of innovation is suppose In the WAN side, right now you are running some legacy protocol. What is the meaning of legacy protocol? The meaning is you are running the old WAN methodologies like DMVPN, suppose, or IPsec. And now your boss wants that everybody is moving towards SD-WAN. Why can't we change our WAN towards SD-WAN? Why can't we move from S normal WAN to SD-WAN? And now Mr. Raul is laughing that we don't have that much staff. And most of the staff, whatever we are having, is always in the firefighting mode. I cannot do that. And this is the problem with many, many enterprises, right? Most of their networking staff is busy in troubleshooting the network. Nobody has time to innovate the network. This is the problem, right? So, can we do something in for this company so that the networking staff can spend some more time in innovating the network instead of troubleshooting the network? Can we do some things like this, right? And the answer is actually that whatever the day-to-day work, uh, whatever the repeatable work, if you can do that work with the help of a machine, with the help of a program, then it is going to be important. For example, if Mr. Rahul is doing, say, 10 tasks per day, and out of this 10 tasks, 6 tasks are repeatable, right? What is the meaning of repeatable? The meaning of repeatable is that he always do SSH into this machine. He always go into some mode. He always checks something and then he gets some data. This is a repeatable task which Mr. Rahul has to perform each and every day, right? So out of the 10 tasks, Mr. Rahul was performing six tasks which are repeatable. Can we do something? Can we ask help from a machine who can do these 6 tasks repeatable every day? And suppose these 6 tasks take maybe 50% of Mr. Rahul's time. If that is the case, then of course that the 50% means 4 hours you are saving by just repeating those work. You do not believe? Don't you believe? If you don't believe, then see this, right? I am taking the example of maybe the pilots, right? These two pilots are flying this maybe Boeing aeroplane, right? Believe me that these pilots spend approximately 8 minutes to 12 minutes only in flying this aircraft. That is it, right? This is very, very interesting statistics, right? Then what these pilots do, these pilots put this complete aeroplane in autopilot mode. What is the autopilot mode? Right? The autopilot mode is that basically these pilots are not doing specific thing or not flying this aeroplane, and aeroplane is just flying on by itself, right? It means that somebody has written that code, somebody has programmed this plane so that it can fly on its own. But do you think that it is means the pilot role is irrelevant here? No, absolutely not. Because pilot always in full control of this aeroplane. Actually, the pilot is the one who was giving instructions so that this autopilot can run or can this autopilot can fly this aeroplane, right? So instructions all the times these pilots are in full command. But the most repeatable job, whatever the job they do, which are repeatable, they have outsourced them towards the autopilot. And sometimes this machine can do better job in those repeatable things, better job than these pilots, right? Because machines are fast as compared to humans. Only 8 minutes to 12 minutes. Remaining is done by autopilot. So if I may ask that, does it mean that pilots are not important? No, this is not the case. Pilots are extremely important because they are the one who are giving the instructions to this autopilot, right? But yes, in this free time, whatever that free time they get, they can basically more productive in doing something else, right? Maybe the pilot or the commander can instruct so many things or can advise few things to the co-pilot. They can teach co-pilot in the meantime, right? Or they can do any work they want. They can improvise, they can improve the working of this aeroplane, right? It is as simple as that. And that is what exactly my point is that if Mr. Rahul is doing 10 repeatable tasks, and if you can just automate starting six tasks, right? Or the starting six, which are the repeatable tasks, then definitely Mr. Rahul can spend some more time in innovating this network instead of troubleshooting it. And now, if his boss came and asked, "Can we move to SD-WAN?" Mr. Rahul is happy that yes, now we can do, right? But how it is possible? It is possible only if you can automate, if machine can do some of the tasks, some of the repeatable tasks on your behalf so that you can save time, right? I think most of the operations engineer can relate to me here. If not, that is perfectly fine. But I just wanted to say that if some machine can help you doing some work which is repeatable, then you can utilize the time period to do something else. It is as simple as that. We all know that I have seen people who are busy for in 12 hours maintenance window and they don't even pick the phone of their families, right? In that 12 hours because those were very, very busy. Do we need to that much busy? I understand that yes, in this migration window, we have to be fully alert all the times. But what if we can if we can take the help of automation, which can automate out of this 12 hours work, maybe 8 hours, then maybe we need to sit there for 12 hours or maybe not, right? Maybe we are adding some more, we are giving some more time towards our family, which is very, very important, right? So, do we always need to be in firefighting mode as a network engineer? If we learn automation, then I believe that we can save some time. People have done it. People are saying that they have saved time, and time is important. Having said that, let's move to the next board where I am giving you one more statistics, right? So suppose this Sports India was building its complete network and they had bought maybe 500 devices. What is the meaning of devices? The meaning of devices is routers, switches, firewalls, load balancers, these circuits, MPLS internet circuits, right? And these things are actually your cost in making this network. And the term we use for this, I am not a big fan of the terms, but I need to involve here. So whatever the money you spend in building your network, the money you spend in buying these devices comes under capital expenditure, right? And we call it as capex. But believe me, to maintain this network, we need much, much, much more money than whatever we need to build this network. It is as simple as that, right? Because for maintenance of this network, for management of this network, we need people now. People are costly, right? And we need people for the long duration of time. And that is why company hire Rahul, Anjali, and so many more. Okay. So to manage this network, right? So that it can continue doing whatever it is expected, we need people, we need expertise, and that expertise is also costly, right? The amount of money we spend in maintaining this network is called OPEX or operational expenses. And generally, most of the time, OPEX is way higher as compared to CAPEX, right? Can we do something for the company so that this operational expense become less, right? we have discussed three why behind network automation. First thing first, human mistakes. Human mistakes are responsible for 60 to 60 or 60 to 75% of the network outages, right? The second thing is we do not have any time of network automation, sorry, network innovation. We are always in firefighting mode. Can we save some time? Can we give these network engineers some time so that they can think innovating the network instead of just troubleshooting it, right? The third thing is, can we do something so that this operational expense is slightly less as compared to whatever we have, right? People understand all the times that if we are trying to uh, reduce the operational expense, I'm talking about that the people are going to lose job. No, I'm not talking about it, right? As I mentioned, as I have given the example, pilots are still relevant. Pilots are, still need to be there on the plane, right? And that is what I'm saying. Network engineers are important. But if you have some more skills, if you are doing some things for your company, it is going to make you more skillful. It is going to make you more important for the company, right? So do not think that if I say reduction in OPEX, I'm talking about uh, people are going to lose job. And of course, if some people are going to lose job, that is inevitable too. And the reason is that we have seen history, right? Uh, that there is always going to be the survival of the fittest. And believe me, the industry, whatever we are seeing, the network industry or the enterprise network, if I talk about the future, where these networks are going, I could definitely see that the current network engineer need to improve some of the skills, some of the skill set which is necessary for doing your job in the future. And network automation is one of them, right? So if you are good, you do not need to worry because at the end, you are an asset towards the company. I'm just saying you want to do your job more efficiently. You need to add some things into your current toolbox. It is as simple as that. Having said that, right now we are just covered 20 to 30% of today's class. So if anybody has any doubt, any question, I am just talking about so many general things here. If you have any doubt, any question, please raise your hand and start asking it. Anybody? Okay, at least tell me, am I audible? Can anybody tell? Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. So very general,
Yes, sir.
yeah, very general discussion till now. Very, very general discussion. We are now talking about basic idea of this course. What is the basic idea of this course, right? So when I talk about network automation to multiple people in my organization, believe me, I get different responses. So there are people who are having more than 15 years of experience. These are the these are the guys who have seen this network industry evolving, right? And when I say network automation is important, everybody says, now do I need to learn programming, right? I have 15 years of experience. I know BGP, OSPF, MPLS. I know SD-WAN. I know so many things there, right? Do I need to understand now programming also to save my job? This is the number one question which I get, right? In my industry, there are people who are only having maybe 2 to 10 years of experience. These are slightly new, right, into this industry. And they have done a lot of certification like CCNA, they have done SD-WAN certification, somebody has done CCI too, right? And they are asking that I am now habitual to this CLI. I have spent so much money in getting these certification. Are you saying that now I need to learn programming, right? If I need to learn programming, then what will happen to my certification, right? These are gems for me. And now you are saying I need to learn programming. So there are multiple people with multiple questions. And believe me, I have a good and bad news both for you, right? I'm not sure which one you would like to, but the psychology says that let's talk about the bad news first, so that we are going to have a good news for the late, so then we can save the good news for the later point of time. So first thing first, what is the bad news? The bad news is yes, you need to understand some form of automation, some form of programming, right? If Mr. Rahul wants that 6 out of the 10 tasks he perform, and these are repeatable tasks done by machine, he knows what he does, right? So he can only the person who can automate these 6 tasks, right? I'm not saying only he, maybe somebody from his staff, but it requires a lot of input from the Rahul side, right? So the bad news is, yes, you need to understand programming, okay, to be relevant in this current market, to be relevant in the future market, right? Or to work efficiently, the programming is needed, right? The good news is that most of the times, and I have talked to many network engineers, everybody said, and most of them said, I would say 99% of them said that they choose network engineering out of their college because they do not want to do programming. And now we are saying that you need to do programming to be relevant in your current job, right? So the good news is that programming or automation is not that difficult at all, right? Maybe we haven't learned programming that way. If I say, if you understand the BGP path selection algorithm, if you can make network on BGP and MPLS, believe me, these technologies are somewhat more complex than learning the programming itself. Maybe we haven't learned programming from scratch, and that's why we have fear towards it. But I have learned both of the things, BGP, MPLS plus programming. And if I if I match them, if I compare them, what is the learning curve? Which was difficult? I can straight away any day say that the learning of MPLS was a little bit tricky as compared to programming, right? So good news is programming is simple. The good news is your job is not going anywhere, right? So if you are having 15 years of experience, nobody can replace you, right? Because the experience which you have, definitely the machine cannot think just like you. And this is still the problem with whatever we can say, the AI is there, so many things are there, but the way you think, the way you can solve the problem, right? Nobody else can solve. So jobs are not going anywhere. Do not worry about it. But what I'm saying is, if you want to become more relevant, if you want to add more value, right, you need to understand the programming so that you can do your work more efficiently. You can think of the network innovations instead of just troubleshooting the network. This board is really, really important, right? Because many times, many times people ask me that now chat gpt is there who can write the configurations also, whatever, based on whatever the inputs we give. Believe me, AI is here, everything is there, but whatever the experience which you have, nothing can be replaced, right? But yes, to do your job more efficiently, you need to understand the programming, okay? And your certifications are not going anywhere because you are actually utilizing your understanding while doing the code also, right? CLI is not going anywhere. Okay. So if I talk about a seasoned engineer, right? Seasoned network engineer, what is the meaning? A network engineer who is kind of quite good in its job, right? If I take an example of this network engineer, right? Generally, what they do, or what the seasoned network engineer do, they have seen that there are a lot of change in technology. Previously, as a routing protocol, most of us were using RIP, right? Then there is an OSPF. We know OSPF is much better protocol than RIP. So we move from RIP to OSPF, right? We learned OSPF. And as you can see now, we have to learn MPLS. As and when the new technology comes, this network engineer is ready to adopt them in open arms, right? This is what everybody is doing, right? Network engineer who is a very good, who is very good with respect to his work. Whatever comes, they embrace it, they love it, they understand it, right? If you have that frame of mind, then I believe that network engineering or the network automation is just anything, just other thing, just like repo SPF and MPLS, right? You just need to spend some time. Then people ask that, are you making us software developers? No, this is not my intention, right? See, whatever you need for doing your what we can say network automation, the programming knowledge you need, it is way less as compared to what these developers are doing, right? Developers who build the full-fledged products. I'm not saying that the network engineers should become the developers. No. What I'm saying is that if you are a network engineer, just add few things in your tools, just like Python, just like knowledge of operating system. And believe me, you can do your work much more efficiently than previously, right? I'm not making you developers. I'm not saying that you should become developer because developers, most of the developers, right, they are not from the network and they are not interested in learning networking, right? They are not going to take your job for sure, right? But you are going to be having some more skills so that you can perform your job much better, right? So this is the whole sole intention. So if I say what is the basic idea of this course, the basic idea of this course are these three things, right? I have seen that there is a huge programming fear in many network engineers. I want to just remove this programming fear from you. Believe me, programming is not that difficult. Automation is not that difficult. But the whole sole point is you should start it from scratch, right? You should start it from learning why behind it. Most of the time, we do not understand the problem itself and we try to solve it. What we are going to do here is for every concept, I'm not sure whether you have seen my any video, for every concept, we go first thing first, why behind it, and then we talk about the concept itself, right? So, programming fear, if that is in you, I am here to remove that, right? The second thing is to make you future ready. What is the meaning of future ready, right? A network engineer can do definitely his job without the programming, without the understanding of automation. But a network engineer can do its work more efficiently if it knows the programming, right? So I'm just making you future ready. I just want to make you uh, I just want to make you so that you can do your job more efficiently and you are prepared for the future because we all know that we are going to be literally illiterate in the coming world if we do not know some sort of programming language or the computer language, right? And of course, in the process, we will be becoming more better or the better network engineer. It is as simple as that. So this is the whole soul basic idea of this course. And if you guys have any doubt, any questions, now you can unmute yourself. You can ask the question. Please go ahead. Anybody? Any question? Okay. So I am again asking anybody, am I audible?
Yes, yes, sir, you are.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
very much.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, Vishnu,
Yeah.
the programming, as you said, right?
Mhm.
I mean, it required any like fundamentals of OOPS concept or something like how the track will be started if you enroll this particular course. So, do we need any languages like Python, Ansible kind of things, and all? We need to understand something. Basic OOPS is enough to to start this particular programming language.
Can I know your name first?
Hi, my name is Vijay. Yeah,
What's your name? Could you please repeat?
Vijay. Vijay.
Hey, Vijay,
Yeah.
thank you so much for opening up and thank you so much for your first question. And believe me, that is the answer I'm going to give you maybe in the next to next board. Do not worry about it. What we are going to learn, how we are going to learn,
Okay.
what is necessary, I will be covering it. Vijay. Okay?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Anybody else? Any random question, anything, whatever you have in your mind. Any fear, whatever you have in your mind. Please go ahead and ask.
Vishnu sir,
Yeah, what's your name first?
Anand,
Yeah, Anand, please go ahead.
Anand. So, Vishnu sir, there was a time, 4 or 5 years ago,
Hmm.
we used to upgrade checkpoint firewalls using the scripts,
Yeah.
okay, multiple number of firewalls. And now you are talking about automation. So, what is the difference between using a script and using the automation with the Python?
Definitely. Again, we are just going ahead of the time. Do not worry. This question is also explained in the coming board. But thank you so much for
Okay,
asking.
okay,
Okay.
Vishnu sir.
So having
Okay.
said that, let's move to the next board. And I would request everybody to go on mute. And definitely, I will be giving you the means after this uh, class, after this meeting also, I will be there. I will be here for half an hour. So you can ask any questions, whatever comes to your mind, right? So, what should be your expectations from this course? And this is one of the most interesting board which I always draw in every class, whether it's CCNA, whether it's CCIE, or whether it's SD-WAN or anything, right? And here it's for the network automation this time. So by the way, guys, if you are planning to go 100 kilometers deep in network automation, right? If you want to learn network automation fully, and I do not believe that learning can stop anywhere, right? Maybe when you reach 100 kilometers, you see that there is still some path, maybe 500 kilometers more are there, right? So my point of having this course is to walk with you for the initial 25 kilometers, and that is it. But I want to make sure that the initial 25 kilometers or 20 to 25 kilometers are going to be so solid, right? The base is going to be so solid that if you choose to go 100 kilometers inside the network automation, you can walk pretty easily, right? So these 25 kilometers are going to be really slow. We are going to learn everything from the scratch. But once we are done with this 25 kilometers, it's up to you whether you want to walk or want to run for the next 100 kilometers, right? But I am here to walk with you only starting 20 to 25 kilometers, and that is it, right? You can infer anything out of it, but if you have attended my BGP class, if you have attended my uh, any class, right? Although I have experience of almost 15 years, right, in networking industry, I have created many network based of BGP and MPLS. And if somebody asks me even now that are you expert in BGP, then I straight away say no, I am not expert. And the reason is there is no definition of expert. Whatever is expert for me, maybe for you it is not that great, right? So I believe that I understand only 5 to 10% of the BGP till now, right? Only 5 to 10%. Because whenever I complete a book on BGP, right, I see that there are many references. When I finish the book, I see many references, and that particular reference is again a book, right? How can you complete everything, right? Maybe you can read two, three, four books. There are so many things in BGP. There are so many functionalities in BGP. But the question is that do I need to learn everything about BGP to begin with the project? No, it is not that, right? I should have the solid understanding of BGP fundamentals. I can start the project and whatever as a functionality is required on this project, you can learn during that project. It is as simple as that. And that is what goes same thing with network automation. To start your network automation journey, it is not the fact that you should understand each and everything. You should go 500 kilometers inside the network automation. No, you should have some solid basics of network automation, and that is it. Whatever comes, whatever you are trying to automate, you can learn along with, right? But what are those starting 25 kilometers? I am there for you. Having said that, next three boards are going to be very, very important, which are going to explain you what is the difference. So Mr. Anand has asked that they were doing the checkpoint upgradation or the migration using the script. Now, what is the difference? Is the what is the difference between doing it from the script or doing it by automation? Are those things are same? We are going to discuss, right? So let's see what is network automation. So first thing first, we have Mr. Rahul here, and here we have Mr. Rahul's laptop, and this is the network which is maintained and managed by Mr. Rahul. I have shown only two routers, router number one, router number two, and only two switches. That is it. Although there could be more than 100 of such devices, right? So what Mr. Rahul is interested in doing in, right, as a job, maybe his boss came and he's asking that I want all the routers, whoever, whatever is running in my network, what version they are running, right? And the second thing I want to know, what is the uptime of these routers? Mr. Rahul is happy. Okay, this is very, very simple. I know the command. I know that if I do a show version on all of these devices, those are going to give me the results, right? And here is the thing. Now, this company is having more than maybe 500 devices. So what Mr. Rahul is doing, Mr. Rahul is logging in to each and every device, right? What are the steps? He just log into this device, writing here enable, and then giving the command show version. And he knows his eyes are so pro that when he gives the show version command, he directly see here that this is the 15.6 version of iOS. And then basically he knows that this router uptime is 5 hours and 46 minutes. It is as simple as, and this is what these two information is required, right? If Mr. Rahul doesn't have any idea about that, what are the better ways of doing it, definitely he is going to telnet or doing the SSH into this, into all the 200 devices, and he will be making an Excel sheet that router number one is running this version number of the iOS, and basically this is the uptime. This is very, very simple task, right? But do you think this is the efficient way of doing that? I'm not sure because we do not know till what network automation can do, right? Or is this the only thing which network automation can do? So I think you can understand the problem, right? If Mr. Rahul is fully doesn't know that there is any other better way because he knows that he needs to just log into each and every device one by one, just need to give this command, just make this Excel sheet and then give it this Excel sheet back to his boss, right? Maybe his boss can say, I want that result in 1 week of time. So Mr. Rahul has ample number of time, right? But what if his boss says that I want this result in next 2 hours? This is going to be very, very difficult for Mr. Rahul, right? Let's see a slightly different approach of doing it, right? And then we see third approach also. So just wait for the third approach, right? So this is the first approach which Mr. Rahul could have taken. And now this is the second approach, right? The second approach is again same. The network is same. Mr. Rahul is same. The task is same, right? But now Mr. Rahul is become more intelligent. He's saying that now I am not going to go log in one by one to every device. And what he's saying that he want to write a small script, just like Mr. Anand said that they used to do all these things, right? 4 years back, upgradation of their firewall using the script, and that is what Mr. Rahul is doing. To write this script, Mr. Rahul has learned some form of Linux operating system, and he also know Python programming language. Very basic language, right? Believe me, Python is one of the most simplest language I have ever seen. Linux is one of the most simple operating system to learn, right? But, and we are going to discuss Windows versus Linux also. Do not worry about it, right? Windows is there, right? It is very easy. Anybody can understand through the graphical user interface, right? And Linux people says is very tough, right? Because you need to learn few things. Believe me, Windows is developed so that it is user friendly. Linux is not. But if you learn Linux operating system, maybe the learning curve is there, maybe 15 days, 20 days is required, but you will definitely fall in love in Linux. And believe me, most of the Android systems, most of the mobile system, if you take a mobile phone industry, 70% of the mobile or whoever is running the Android is running, it is running the Linux, right? Mr. Rahul knows this. He learned Linux. Very simple operating system. Believe me, I will prove it to you in this course. Do not worry about it. So what Mr. Rahul is doing, he has learned some Linux, he has learned some Python, and now he can write some code. He can write some instructions. And this is the beauty of this program or this script that Mr. Rahul does not, now Mr. Rahul is not going to log into every 200 devices. He's saying that I'm going for a walk, right, with my friend. Maybe when I come back after the 2 hours, just want the results, just want the result in the same Excel file, which is going to say that this router's uptime is this one and it is running this version, right, for all the 200 routers, right? But what this script is doing, right? Step one, Mr. Rahul has created this script in a programming language, maybe the Python. He is executing the script, means running the script. Then this script, now Mr. Rahul is not required. Rahul has gone, right, for a cup of tea, maybe for a walk. And basically the script is logging into this router. The script is typing enable on the terminal. If I say terminal, the same thing. You all know CLI, right? You must have seen this. You have written this enable show version on the CLI, right? But now you are not required here. Script is doing on the on that behalf. And by the way, this is not the network. This is the starting of the network automation. This is not the full network automation, right? And then basically we have a script which is saying the same script which is saying show version. Then basically the OS version, whatever the output is there, right? You are taking this output, you are taking the uptime of the router as the output, and you are writing this output, whatever you are getting, into the particular file. And believe me, the output which you were getting right after the show version, I think in the first line we have the iOS version written there, and the 6th or 7th line we have the uptime, right? Now, basically, you are not sitting there. Mr. Rahul is not sitting there because Rahul was so programmed to see only the first and 8th line where these two informations are, right? But script is not human. The script is a program. So you need to say to this script that the iOS version is written on the first line, right? After so many words, then only select only this and write this into the Excel file. Similarly, on the 8th line, we have written the uptime of the router. Take it from there and write into the Excel file. Now this is done by the script, but you have configured that script. You have written this script, right? Because you know where is iOS, where is uptime, right? You are writing this into the particular file, and believe me, these operations, finding a particular piece of information in that file, require some kind of programming skills, right? And that is where people say, I do not want to learn this programming because it is difficult to work with some of the regular expressions, right? And there are so many steps. Believe me, I started doing these things almost 4 to 5 years back, and I was so overwhelmed with the number of steps. I do not wanted to do it, right? It was difficult for it is difficult. If you want to do this way, this is difficult approach, right? Because you are still using the same CLI, but you are not typing the command. Instead of you, somebody else is typing the command, right? But you are doing everything on the CLI. There are too many steps. I am not a developer who can do all these things. Is there anybody to help, right? So definitely, if this was your network automation, believe me, I was not interested in teaching you all these things. This is overwhelming for me too. But if I don't have any other option, it is way better than doing the same thing manually. Previous board, I was doing everything manually in the 200 boxes. And sometimes people say this is easier, right? I can take 2 hours of 2 days of time, but I want to do this way because this is huge. This is actually difficult for me, right? But any day I would say that if I given a chance to do it manually versus with this program, I would choose this program, right? I would rather spend creating this program, right? And then let it do the work on my behalf. But I would again say this approach was difficult, right? And this was Mr. Anand was doing using this thing, right? Using this script. So what could be the different approach, right? There is another approach. We all know that this approach was not working. This approach was overwhelming. This approach was difficult, right? Why? Because this CLI, whatever we used to do, this command line interface of the router was designed for humans. It is not designed for the programs. And that is why we are getting this huge number of steps. If something is not designed for the machines or this script, then how can it can do the effective work, right? And there is a lot of change in last 5 to 10 years in this domain, right? Now this router is becoming smart, not on its own, but the developers of these routers, whoever are writing the iOS code or iOS XE code, right? They are making this router more smarter, right? How? They are just saying that now, apart from CLI, we are going to give some more thing to the user so that he can do his job. See the step now. Mr. Rahul is having the same laptop, right? But this laptop has some more tools. What are those tools? Do not worry. I do not want to just take the names, but those tools are very, very important, right? And now this router is in its new avatar. It is presenting CLI if you are interested in the CLI. It is also presenting some more things. And I know that you have heard about application programming interface also, right? APIs. Now these routers are presenting some more things so that you can do your work more efficiently. Not like that your script is typing on your behalf. No, right? That was not scalable solution. That was not a good solution. That was overwhelming. That was difficult. But now your work is going to be more easier simply through a script. Now you are saying, what is your OS version, Mr. Router? Can you please tell me? And the router is replying, yes, the iOS version is this one. No, nothing. You do not need to tell anything, right? That write this something into the file. Now I will be parsing that file using the regular expression and so many things. No, nothing. You are just asking a straight away question, Mr. Router, what is your iOS version? And Mr. Router is replying back. It is as simple as that. This is the simpler approach, right? And that is where the new tools are coming. I'm pretty sure that you have heard about netconf protocol. If you haven't, that is perfectly fine. Or the restconf protocol. I'm pretty sure that you have heard about Yang. I'm pretty sure you have heard about XML and JSON too. Believe me, these are the tools which are going to make your life easy if you want to understand network automation. And these rules are very, very simple rules, right? It is just learning any other language. And do not worry, we will be starting everything from the scratch there, right? And now there are some more tools, right? These are the tools which should be under our belt, which we are going to discuss in this course. Along with that, I am pretty sure that you have heard about Ansible too. Just wait a minute, guys. Sorry for this. Ansible too. We will be talking about Ansible also, right? And if you haven't heard about them, that is perfectly fine. Because if you do not know that you don't have fear towards them, you will be learning. Okay. So this is the more, but then you must be then you must be having a question that if that is the case, Mr. Vishnu, that netcon restcon is there, then why are we using Python? Why you are making us learning this OS? And believe me, these two concepts are really, really important because Python is giving you something, a language in which you can incorporate everything like netconf, Yang, XML, and so many things, right? So operating system plus Python is the mandatory thing when you start your automation journey. These are just the tools which are making your life very, very easy. Through Python, not now you are not going to say that script is going to do work on my behalf. No, right? Basically, you are not going to say that a script is writing the commands on the command line. No, there is going to be completely different approach, and that is what the change, right? Previously, people says that there is only one change in network automation, right? Or the one change in the network. Previously, we used to do the telnet, and now we are changing it with the SSH. And this is the only change till 2014 or 15, right, in the network. And believe me, everywhere else, there are so many changes. But in the network industry, previously we used to do telnet, and now we are doing SSH, right? But in the last 4, 5, 6 years, there is a huge development. You have seen software-defined networking, right? How they are doing all this work. If you have learned about SD-WAN, how it is able to configure all of your devices from a single location, because it is just using the network automation. It is somewhere using this netconf. It is as simple as that, right? SD-WAN or software-defined networking is not magical. They are using these tools. And I am again and again saying just one thing to you. Learning of these tools along with OS and Python is simpler than learning MPLS and BGP, believe me. Having said that, now I would like to tell you that, and by the way, I would take another 10 minutes more, and that is it. Then I will open for the question. So whatever we are seeing in this today's lecture, right? Whatever we have seen, this is not even the start, right? We are just doing the introduction, right, of this course. We are starting this course from tomorrow, 20th Feb. This course will be available in both Hindi as well as English. You choose your own language. Hindi is my preferred language, right? Why? Because I am from the northern part of India. So generally in Hindi class, we do more fun. It is not the fact that we do not do fun in English class, but yes, because you can understand that in your natural language, you are more, what we can say, you are more engaging, you can say, right? But yes, if you understand both of them, you can take both of them too in the same price, right? The price is going to be 8,000 rupees. We are going to discuss maybe 35 to 45 hours. This is going to be available on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, only 3 days a week, 1 or 1.5 hour, between 8:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m., right? From 8:30 p.m. to 10, we are going to have the same session in Hindi, and from 10 to 11:30, right? We are going to have the session in English. It is as simple as that, right? Bridgeva is the name of our site. So by now, if you think that you are not much familiar about the network, so you do not want to go for the network automation course, that is perfectly fine. Just visit this website. There are many free courses available to begin your networking journey. If you know the networks, then I would say do not hesitate to join this course, right? Because I have one specific announcement for you, which I always do. Because people has fear of programming language. People has fear of spending money too, right? Because 8,000 rupees or 799 rupees is a good amount of money, right? So I want to announce one thing, which I always do, that even in the 45th class or the last class of this course, you think that Vishnu hasn't teach or I had some other expectations from this course which Vishnu was not able to perform, we are not going to ask much questions, right? We are just going to ask that how can we improve, and we will be returning your money. I'm not talking about first class, second class, 10th class, or the 20th class. I'm talking about the last class of this course. If you feel that this course doesn't make sense to me, we are going to give your money back, right? And I have a good record in that. Means out of maybe 1,000 people till yet, nobody has asked for the money. And that is what I have confident enough, right? This time too. But that doesn't mean that maybe people can have different expectations out of this course. If you feel, even in the last class, that no, this was not for me, we will give your money back. Having said that, I can see that there is a hand raise. Anybody, if please want to ask question, please do. I have another maybe 1 or 2 boards to complete, and that is it. So anyone has any
Yeah,
doubt,
Vishnu.
question? Yeah, please.
Yeah, this idea, Manshu. So I just want to know, like, in this course, you will teach us for API as well, like for Postman or any other like Terraform and anything.
Yes, we will be including that too.
I need this for ACI, so I just want to ask you.
Perfect, perfect. So if I give you another how I am going to break this complete course, it is going to be like this, right? As I mentioned, see, we are not using any different approach. If you go and learn TCP/IP, TCP/IP is also giving you 5 different layers, right? Layer 1, nobody cares about it. Layer 2 and layer 3, most of us are concerned with this. Then layer 4, if I'm not sure whether you learned about TCP or not, but you should. And then L5, which is the application layer. Most of the network engineer remains there, right? So we have broken TCP/IP into 5 different parts, and that's what I'm going to do with network automation too. If I break this with the hammer, right, it is going to give me these 5 different things: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this is what we are going to cover here, right? For network automation, the understanding of programming language is must, and that is why we are going to learn Python. For network automation, it is really, really important to understand at least one platform, Unix based, which is your Linux. We will be talking about Linux. Maybe the starting 10 hours we are just going to spend in this operating system learning Linux. This is very, very important. Maybe the next 20 to 30 or maybe to next 15 to 25 hours, we will be learning about Python, because these are the building blocks of your network automation journey. Then we are going to talk about the protocol. What is the meaning of protocol? The meaning of protocol is the new protocols which are going to make your life easy. Netcon, RESTcon, right? Interesting. Then we are going to talk about data modeling. If you are not sure about data modeling and representation, do not worry about it, right? I'm just saying that we will be learning here Yang and different representations technique like XML and JSON. The automation tool, mostly we will be talking about Ansible here. This is the whole soul agenda. This is the whole soul thing. Once we learn this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we are going to combine everything 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And believe me, the starting 25 kilometers is done. And it's up to you to go ahead in that. How we are going to do the practicals, definitely I will be informing in tomorrow's class, right? But we are going to start first thing first with why behind operating system. And this is the first board of that, right? And as I can see that the time is already 1 hour and 20 minutes, what I would say, you are more than welcome to join the first class, which we are going to have tomorrow, Monday evening time. If you are interested in Hindi, 8:30 is the time. If you are if you are interested in English, 10 p.m. is the time. Having said that, this is what I wanted to explain, right? I wanted to just have the expectations right from this course. And now you are more than welcome to ask any questions, any doubt on that. So Muhammad Salim is raising the hand. Yeah,
Vishnu,
please, Muhammad
hi.
Salim, please do ask.
Hi, sir. Hi, sir. Salim from this side.
Yeah, please.
I want to know what is the prerequisite for this course?
Prerequisite for this course is just to be curious, as I mentioned in the first board, right?
Okay.
And of course, we are making the network automate. We are just automating the network. It means that you should have
Okay.
understanding of at least uh, how to build the network. Maybe you are in the operations, right? You know the LAN part of the
Yes.
network. That is perfectly fine. If you have that kind of knowledge, that is good. But the most important thing is
Yes.
to any of my course, maybe ASP, BGP, SD-WAN, anything. If you are curious enough to know, believe me, in those classes, we are going to cover everything, right? So, just give you an example.
Actually, I
Yeah,
have.
I just want to give you an example. Sorry for that. That we thought that our OSP or BGP class is going to be only 40 hours long, but believe me, that is more than 75 hours. Why? Because people were so curious in asking the questions, right? So I do not put upper cap of on my number of classes. So if you are curious enough, I am ready to go above and beyond. Yeah, please go ahead now.
Actually, I have basic understanding of routing protocol like OSPF, BGP,
Mhm.
and basic understanding of MPLS, but I don't have the depth knowledge in that
That
protocol.
is perfectly
So
fine.
that's why
That is
I'm.
perfectly fine. If I say bridgewire.com is going to be your savior, everything is going to be explained in that manner. So we can talk regarding this over phone or the over the WhatsApp also. Okay, but do not
Sure,
worry.
sure. Thank you
You
so
you
much.
you have the prerequisite for it, the course.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Please do ask.
Hey, hey, Vishnu Vineet here.
Yeah, Vinit.
Uh, are are you going to share any sort of a lab manual or some sort of practice set
Yeah, we
in
will be
this
doing the
course?
labs in the classes, directly in the classes, right? And maybe I have created
Okay.
one,
Mm-hmm.
means some of the files also, which I upload in my website. So what is going to happen is, suppose we are done with the 10 classes of operating system, right? And you want to do some exercise, whatever we have done. So what I will do is, whatever the exercises are there, I will upload on the core sections. There is a core section, resources section inside that, and you will find all these files there so that you can practice on your free time. Okay,
Got it. Well, I have one more
please
question.
do.
Like,
Please go ahead.
if somebody can't join this time,
Mhm.
when are you planning to have this training again? Like,
See, here is the thing. I train generally, most of the time, I train only one on a particular subject because there are so many subjects, right? We have completed
mhm.
SD-WAN, we have completed CCNA, we have completed OSPF, BGP, MPLS, TCP, and so many, right? And there are so many things in the pipeline too, like ACI is there, segment routing is there, right? So this is the automation course. So I don't think that just after this automation course, I will be starting the ACI, then segment routing, and then maybe I would be repeating. But for now, I don't have any plan of repeating this course, because believe me, if you watch it offline too, I'm not sure whether you have seen my any of my video. It is going to be engaging too. But yes, there is no plan of.
I
Yeah.
I I I work in Cisco only, so I know pretty much about it.
Okay, thank you
Yeah.
so much, man. Yeah.
Vishnu, one more thing, like if somehow I miss this, like one of the any of the class, so it will be recorded session, right?
These are going to be the recorded session, which will be uploaded onto my website, and you are going to have the access for that website. Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
Anybody else, please?
Vishnu, as you said, right, the programming language is the Python
Mhm,
and the tool will be Ansible.
mhm.
Okay. So just wanted to is it do we need to install any softwares or do we need any high-end laptop or high-end configuration for the
No high-end
Ansible or something?
configuration is not required. Believe me, means if you have it,
Ansible is a tool, right?
yeah. Do not worry
Or
about it.
software or something.
We will be guiding you with the, as I mentioned. See, there is no
Okay.
scratch on this board till yet. We will be making the scratch. We will starting from the scratch. Everything, whatever we are
That's
going to do,
yeah,
it is going to be from scratch.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So as a prerequisite, we need a at least one basic laptop is more enough, right?
Yes, you are right.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
maybe if we
Mm,
need
yeah.
something high end, we can create on the Google Cloud platform or because you do not worry, there are so many tricks to do that. We will be talking about it. Okay.
Okay. The timings, do you have only weekdays batches or any weekends batches
No,
also?
weekend basically I don't have because previously we used to give classes on the weekend and the people say at least spare us on the
Okay.
weekend, man. We all
Oh,
we work on the
that's
weekdays
true.
and
Actually,
then yeah.
I'm working. Sorry to interrupt you.
Mhm.
I'm working in early morning shift.
Yeah.
So you can say early 5 to 1 p.m. IST.
Okay.
So that is so just I asked. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I could see so many hand raised. Please go ahead. Himanshu ji, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
Eh,
Ashish,
Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, Ashish, this side actually, I have query that we will learn MIB OID, like some person using the getting data with using the help of MIB
SNMP.
OID.
You are saying
So
SNMP,
yeah,
MIPS.
SMP. Yes,
I
yes,
am
yes.
not going to go that way. Maybe and basically,
Okay.
that is the thing which you want to change, right? SNMP is a
Yes.
way to manage your network, and we have been doing this through SNMP from quite a long time. Believe me, there is a
Okay.
replacement for that in maintaining network. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Anybody else?
Yeah, Vishnu, this is Kishore. So
Kishore.
I have the same previous question. Like it's the timings that you said are basically my working hours.
Oh, okay.
So is there any other possibility?
Okay, so timing is a little bit problem for me. See, generally what I used to have is if I tell you, right? From 9 to 10:30 I used to have my Hindi batch and the morning time, morning 7 to 8:30 is my English batch. But the problem here was means starting days most of the people were okay to wake up at early in the morning 7 a.m. But at the end of the course I could see only 10 to 15 people out of the 50 people, right? So we can change definitely the time of English course, no problem about it. But whether you can pace you can get up early in the morning 7, it is going to be challenging for many. Means if you see, I can definitely make a group of few people, right? And most of the things are going to be in means whatever I do, even this course fees, even the timings and all, I always ask everybody, and whatever the majority we get, we choose that. But yes, it is a challenge for many people to wake up 7 early in the morning. People prefer to wake up mm, till late, right? So I can understand your issue, but right now we are going to teach it from 8 to 11:30, and that is the thing which we have decided. Uh, if you want to go ahead, because for every day we will be uploading the recording on the portal, you can join Hindi or English batch anytime, right? If you choose for any one batch, you are eligible for the other batch. But this is the plan till now, and I will be updating the plan if we choose to go for the morning batch too. Okay, but till now we don't have any plan of starting the morning batch because of the because people do not get up early in the morning. Yeah, please go ahead. Other questions?
Vishnu, this course will be based on Python 3 or 2.7?
Python 3, I would say.
Okay.
To be frank, I still haven't decided on the fact because I was preparing too much on Linux operating system because the starting 10 hours is going to be on Linux. So I still haven't decided whether 2.7 or 3, but mostly,
Uh,
yeah, go ahead.
the reason I say this is because 2.7 is now no longer supported on many of the
Yeah,
platforms,
right.
right? And okay,
I got it. So I decided to go for 3. Python version 3. But let's see.
okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Anybody else? Abhi, I think I missed a window, and that is why I could not see your hand raised. So you can go ahead and ask question, please. And thank you so much for asking so many
Just
cool
one
questions.
one more question.
Hmm.
One more question, Vishnu.
Yeah, please.
So the labs that we will be doing, we will be doing it on some of the R install base lab, or you will be providing some access or something.
No, I don't have any access to any lab, means I don't have any hardware with
Okay.
me, right? But yes, I can guide
Okay.
you that how to do that in the Google Cloud or basically on your laptop. We will be talking about it.
All right.
Anybody else? Please ask your
Hey
question.
Vishnu, Abhishek.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, do we need to install any software on our laptop because I'm using Office laptop?
Hmm.
So that's a concern I have.
Okay, so can you install EVNG on your machine, or you can't install anything outside of your?
That I'm not sure. I will check on
Yeah,
that
please
one.
do check because we are going to install maybe GNS or EVNG, or maybe we are going to use the cloud. So there is a specific workaround for every situation, right? But the whole sole point is, if
Hmm.
you are curious, if you are interested in learning, definitely there is a way. Do not worry about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I have like one more concern. This is my actually personal
Mm-hmm.
concern. So currently I'm working as a network
Yeah.
engineer. So I'm interested to learn programming and I want to completely move into automation side.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't want to continue means like a career in networking like troubleshooting or implementation. So I want to
Okay.
move completely to
But why not? Means why
programming.
not? This is the bread and butter for many of us, right? You do not like troubleshooting, huh?
No, it's not like that.
Okay.
I just want because I'm interested to learn programming language. I just learned like few things about Python like not recently, 1 year back
Hmm.
from W3 schools and some YouTube
Yeah.
videos. So I felt bit interesting. So I want to move completely into
You are
automation
more than
side.
welcome. But I would say one thing, whatever you have learned in the networking area, right? Do not diminish, do not basically let that knowledge go. Have that knowledge with you, right? And on top of it, build. See, the aim here is not to make you a full-fledged developer, right? If you want to, you are
Mhm.
more than welcome in that, right? But aim of this course is actually to have whatever the knowledge you have in the networking, you have it, right? You are not letting it go anywhere, plus the programming, right? Somewhat automation so
Okay.
that you can do your job more efficiently. But yes, if you are planning to just get rid of this spark and move ahead, as I mentioned, that I will be walking you with you from the initial 20 to 25 kilometers. But yes, it's up to you. Those
Uh,
are going to be solid steps. The remaining step you can definitely go ahead, and if you want to move your career totally into the programming, you are more than welcome to do that. Okay.
okay. Yeah. Like one last
Yep.
question. So in order to become like a complete network means like automation engineer.
Mhm.
So what are the like yeah, I know like company to company the tools and the languages differs, but like basic what are the concepts and programming language we need to know
I
in
would
order to
say,
become
I
like
would say to start, there is a most simple language to start to begin with, right? That is your Python, right? Which is going to, what we can say, bind all of your tools knowledge. For example, Yang is definitely we need to learn. NetConf is definitely we need to learn. Maybe the rest conf also, right? and then some tool, maybe Ansible you are interested, or Postman you are interested in, right? So these are the tools, but basically understanding of those tools are definitely mandatory, but there must be something which you are going to combine it with, right? And that is the Python. And I do not know why people have a fear for the Linux. It is again any other terminal, right? Just like your CLI of router. So if I say to you, if I advise you, Python plus operating system, specifically Linux, with all these tools, whatever we are going to cover, is mandatory for you to switch from the networking background to this background, automation background. Okay.
Okay. So apart from that, any other means just asking, curious to know
Maybe we can have a
any other.
one-on-one communication on the WhatsApp, right? Maybe we can have a call. Do
Okay.
not worry. Yeah, please go ahead. Anybody
Sure.
else questions? I think Mohammed ji has some question, or they. Anybody else?
Hi, Vishnu, Yusuf here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, please go ahead, Mr. Yusuf.
Hi, Vishnu, Yusuf here.
Yeah, please go ahead, Yusuf.
Regarding that laptop configuration, is there any specific? Yeah, regarding that laptop I'm audible?
Yeah, you are. Yes, you are.
Hello?
Yes, you are.
Hello?
Yes, you are audible. Okay, am I audible now?
Okay.
Anybody
I'm
else?
asking you that regarding to the laptop configuration. In my laptop, I have only 8 GB. I don't think so EVNG is supportable.
Okay, then we can discuss some other method. Do not worry about it. And that other method we are going to talk in the
Hello?
classes. So, Mr. Namanji, Kanpal Namanji, please ask your question if you have any question. Okay. Abhishek, if you have question. Okay, am I audible, guys? Can anybody tell me? Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so if
Yes.
if Mohammed ji, I think he was not able to hear me. Anyone else is having any question, please do ask. Okay, so I don't think there is another question. So you are more than welcome to chat with us.
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead. Who is there?
Yeah. Hi, Vishnu. Hi, Vishnu ji. Hi. Namaste. This is Naman here.
Yeah, Naman, please go ahead.
Yeah. I had a query regarding this network automation course, and sir, I see the crowd, the people who are mostly coming in, working here, basically from network operation points of view also. So I typically come from a pre-sales background, a solution design background also.
Yeah.
So if I talk about, and I have actually followed you for your SD-WAN from scratch to design course.
Yeah.
I followed that and I found it very helpful for me. So I was just wondering that if we talk about this network automation piece of it, so is it something that would be beneficial from a pre-sales perspective as well? Frankly, I was not able to make up my mind, so I'm just asking you, and
Yeah.
I thought about giving it a try. So because I don't deal with, I was there at the beginning of career. I was actually working on that, but now I actually don't work on, defining routes or anything, or any operations or delivery side of the thing.
Yeah,
So if you
I
could,
would say that then basically it is not that much relevant for you, but I personally believe, right, Naman, that everybody who is from this network industry or everybody is from this computer industry, they in the current world they should know at least Linux plus a programming language to be relevant in upcoming future. It doesn't matter what kind of job you are doing. Maybe you are doing this pre-sales background work, right? But believe me, whatever the work you are doing, you can, and it is you who can define what is my repeatable work every day. You can at least automate it. Maybe when you give your pre-sales design solution to to anybody else, right? You can guide them that how they can do at least some part of automation, right? So maybe this course is not that much relevant for you, but yes, considering the future need to be in this industry, I'm not saying that you should be uh, very good with respect to netcon, because that is not your part, right? You are not related with the configuration on the devices, but I would say understand Linux, understand at least one language of your choice. Python is the easiest one. and it has many modules with it to ease your job. Doesn't matter what kind of job you are doing. If you have Python under your belt, it can automate so many things for you. Am I able to answer your question, Namanji?
Yeah, Vishnu.
Okay. Anybody else, please ask your questions. Okay. So yeah, go ahead.
Vishnu?
Uh-huh.
So these recorded session, in case anyone misses one class, so the recorded session will be available for a particular duration, or will they be downloadable, or that we can keep for our reference?
Those are available for 5 years on the website.
5 years.
And
On the website only, we cannot download.
no, download portion, download is not available because I do not want
Okay.
uncontrolled distribution of this, right? So,
Okay, no worries.
so 5 years is actually because I would say that I do not know after 5 years whether this course is going to be relevant or not, right? But it is going to be there
No,
for
that's
5 years,
fine.
yes.
So perfect.
Anybody else? Okay. So,
Just wanted to say
go ahead.
we are excited.
That is great. That is great. Curiosity plus excitement is something which is going to make you, I would say, चार चांद लगा देने वाला है जी आपके करियर में. So one more offer for everybody in today's class or who have joined, that if you join this course, I have a pretty decent course on transmission control protocol, TCP, right? And this is where most of the companies ask questions when you go for your network interviews. Transmission control protocol, right? We have created a 12 hours course on it, and whoever has joined this, whoever is going to join this course, I will be giving you this course as a supplementary course with that so that you can have complete understanding. Just to announce you. One more goodie for you. Having said that, it was wonderful talking with you. And I don't think there is another question. There are more questions. So see you in the
Sir.
tomorrow's. Yeah, go ahead, please. Anybody?
So can you please check the chat box?
Yeah, I don't have my mobile with me now. Okay, chat box. Okay, that's okay. Let me see that. Okay, so there are questions here too, right?
Yeah.
So hello Vishnuji, are we going to learn Ansible in this course? Yes, we are. What will be the course fee? It is 7,999. 7,900 means 8,000, you can say. Yeah, flexibility is there to join anything. I'm clear about the queries. Hi Vishnu sir, what is Linux in reality? It is kernel or operating system. Linux is the operating system. So basically, what is kernel? What is operating system? Or basically what makes an operating system? Definitely I will let you know. Do not worry about it, right? I will register for this course. Thank you so much. I will register for this course. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, okay. What is the Linux in reality? Okay, okay, noted. Okay. Anybody else? I have seen my chat box also, so I don't think there is much questions there. There are many, but okay. Okay. If anybody didn't get the answer, please do ask.
What's the procedure for enrollment, Vishnu?
Okay, I will post a link, so I will tell you what is the process. So if you are already seeing my screen, just go to the bridgewire.com and I will be definitely sending you the link. Do not worry about it. Okay, I do not want to do this. Just wait a minute. I will. So if you go here, no more, enroll, and this is the all the details I have provided here. Even I have created a video, small video out of it, right? Just do enroll here and that is it. Just do an enroll here, pay, and that's it. Okay?
Got it. No early bird discounts, right?
See, this is there from last. I have a discount for everybody. I am giving the TCP course free from this, right? Because most of the people have joined this class in 8,000 rupees, right? it is going to be a very, very difficult for them, right? So no discount. This is a fixed price shop. And thank you so much for understanding.
Got it. No
Yeah.
problems. No problem. So got it. Thanks. By the way, I'm sure that there will be participants who may already be having some knowledge of Python. There will be participants
Yeah.
who may not have anything, but you're probably going to consider everything on the same page and starting
Yeah, and believe me, this is
everything from
my
scratch. Yeah?
philosophy. Means I start always with a scratch. Doesn't matter means if we have a 15 years experience in Python guy sitting there, right? If he knows, then it is going to be brush up of his concept. If it doesn't, then definitely it is going to be useful. Every course is just like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks. And we are starting 8:30 p.m. onwards, right?
In Hindi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else? It was wonderful talking to you guys, and I am amazed that people are willing to learn the network automation piece. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And if you can join, it would be great. See you in tomorrow's class. Bye for now. Have a nice day ahead.
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you. Thank you.